We are back on Wednesday Night Impact before the commercial break. Jeff Jarrett and his goons from Global Force Wrestling attacked Lashley as he was about to defeat Chris Mordetsky. The Wolves came out here, but the numbers came just too much in favor of GFW. Now, Karen Jarrett, is that a Feast or Fire briefcase?
Well, you see it got number 3 on it, and you know good and well there were 4 of them. So yes, that's a Feast or Fire case. What in the hell is Karen doing with that?
Beatdown continues here.
Our friend Magnus gave this to me. Our Feast or Fired Tag Team Title briefcase.
Earl Hebner, we're cashing this in. Ring the bell. We're cashing in the tag title.
Right now.
Is this
You
legal?
ready, boys? Trevor, you ready? You ready?
Is this legal? Is this really going to be allowed here?
You guys shut up. All of you shut up. Listen to me.
Tell him, Earl.
I've cashed in before with you. A lot of times I've cashed in. But damn it, I'm not cashing in tonight for you or anybody else. I'm not cashing nothing. You understand what I'm saying?
Good for Earl Hebner standing up for Impact Wrestling. Earl Hebner refusing to cash in, refusing to make it official. And Earl Hebner not backing down at all from Jeff Jarrett.
Get him, Earl. Get him. Hit him.
Oh, what the hell is wrong with Jeff Jarrett? Look, Earl Hebner's a grandfather. He's a senior citizen.
Give me a rep out here now. Gabor, give me a rep.
You can't cash in
me a ref out
Feast or
here.
Fired without a referee. Scott D'Amore is probably in catering.
I wouldn't disagree with you on that, Josh. But way to go, Earl standing up, and look at there. There's Scott D'Amore right there on your right. Look, you know he always has a Twinkie in his pocket.
And they are forcing referee Brian Stifler into the ring here. Lady Tapa.
Ring the bell.
Look, Stifler might have no other choice here. Reluctantly, Stifler calls for the bell, and somehow this match is official. Somehow this is underway, and it looks like it's going to be Trevor Lee cover here for the tag team titles and a kick out by Eddie Edwards. I didn't even know who was going to represent Global Force. It looks like it's Trevor Lee and Brian Myers.
Yeah,
we've seen them tag team here in the past.
Yeah, the same 2 individuals from GFW that faced off against the Wolves and lost, came out on the losing end, and now they're trying to win. Oh, nice drop kick. The TNA World Tag Team Championship
Trevor Lee may
titles.
do it right here for the GFW roster, and luckily Eddie Edwards kicks out at 2. I can't believe this is being allowed. I can't believe this is happening. And Trevor Lee and Brian Myers, Magnus gives the briefcase, the Feast or Fire briefcase that he won back in what, early February, late January? Oh! Suplex there by Brian Myers, and GFW was that close to winning our tag team titles.
Yeah, to your point, Josh, Magnus never partnered up and turned that briefcase in. So when he left, he went to GFW, I will assume, and he gave them the briefcase and say, use it at your own willing.
So Jeff Jarrett and GFW find yet another loophole. This one thanks to Magnus. Trevor Lee and Brian Myers representing GFW. This is Brian Myers, who's been a tag team champion all over the world in other companies. Cover here and a kick out by Eddie Edwards. Trevor Lee on the outside. He's got a very strong independent following. Very young, very athletic. Grew up in Cameron, North Carolina. That's Hardy country.
And here we are now. Sorry about that, Josh. Didn't mean to cut you off. After that double tag team shut off to the rope, Eddie Edwards sent him over, but Trevor Lee, man, is one to be reckoned with.
Eddie Edwards rolls through, single leg Boston Crab on Trevor Lee. Davey Richards on the other side.
Cloverleaf.
Texas Cloverleaf from Davey on Brian Myers. And TNA is going to retain our tag team titles. The Wolves are going to win this match here. There's Sanjay Dutt.
Outside interference playing a part yet again.
Myers misses wildly. Davey trying to take care of Brian Myers. Trevor Lee briefcase off the skull.
No!
To Eddie Edwards.
No, this can't happen.
GFW has just stolen the TNA Tag Team titles.
Here's the new World Tag Team Champions, Trevor Lee and Brian Myers.
Trevor Lee and Brian Myers come here with GFW and steal our tag team titles. The Wolves were beaten down. The Wolves came out here to help Lashley. Beaten down, and then Jeff Jarrett with another trump card. And these hooligans, these thugs, these goons are now TNA World Tag Team Champions. What does this mean?
I'm literally about to blow a gasket as Pope over what just happened. After everything that went down, the Wolves they still were about to come out on top until the outside interference by GFW. What the hell?
Still took a briefcase off the skull.
It's the first show of 2018. 4 title matches, a double main event, and we kick off with the X Division Championship.
It's for the X Division Championship. Introducing first, from Tokyo, Japan, weighing 75 kilos, Ishimori.
Ishimori out of Pro Wrestling Noah gets a shot at Trevor Lee. Let's take a look at how he got it.
This was 3 weeks ago in a tag team match. You can see Ishimori hook the leg, grapevine the leg, secure a victory, and now has this opportunity. Happy New Year, everyone. Will it be a Happy New Year for Taiji Ishimori?
And his opponent, being accompanied to the ring by Caleb Conley from Cameron, North Carolina, 225 pounds, Trevor Lee.
Trevor Lee makes his way to the ring, a dominant X Division champion since defeating Sanjay Dutt for the X Division title. Has since gone on to align with Caleb Conley, a man who's been right by his side through it all. And tonight he faces his toughest challenge as champion, taking on Ishimori, a man who comes to us from Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan with a lot of momentum.
Taiji Ishimori is a 3-time GHC Junior Heavyweight Champion. He knows what it takes to be a champion. Trevor Lee knows what it takes to hold on to a championship. This is going to be a great way to kick off 2018.
Ishimori, no stranger to championship gold. As you said before, Josh hasn't achieved it yet here, but tonight, what a great way to kick off 2018 for Ishimori. And our first of 4 title matches tonight. What a way to kick off the new year here on Impact. Tag team titles on the line later tonight with LAX challenging OVE. And Alberto El Patron gets a shot at Eli Drake in the Impact Global Championship, all coming up here tonight.
A lot of stipulations tonight as well. You heard Sami Callihan tell LAX, if OVE wins, there is no more LAX. James Storm puts his career on the line tonight against Dan Lambert. What a night.
One way or another, we will see the end of the career of either James Storm or Dan Lambert here at Impact Wrestling, and certainly after what we have seen. You're talking about a guy who's been here since day one of the Cowboy, James Storm, and a guy who has been here for, well, just a few months, but has really turned this place upside down in Dan Lambert.
Yeah, ImpactWrestling.com has been examining this matchup and talking about James Storm and how confident Storm must feel to put his storied and legendary career on the line.
Covered by Trevor Lee in the opening moments of this matchup. We're going to see a lot of back and forth action as Ishimori, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a faster athlete in the game right now than this man challenging for the X Division Championship.
No, and I've sung the praises of Taiji Ishimori for what seems like 6 or 7 months. He was outstanding in last year's Super X Cup, became friends with Desmond Xavier, uses a 450 splash to put away his opponents, but has to keep his eye on Caleb Conley.
So many great opponents challenging for that X Division Championship, certainly as Ishimori. Great back handspring and takes over the X Division champion. Drop kick out of the ring, falls the champion. Here comes Ishimori. Woo! And able to catch himself as Trevor Lee moved out of the way. Certainly Ishimori started off as a tag team partner with Trevor Lee and Caleb Connolly, and some miscommunication that took place between the three of them.
Well, yeah, it was really Caleb's fault. He tagged himself in when Ishimori had the match won. Ultimately, the trio would lose, and they blamed Taiji for the loss, and that's what sparked this whole thing.
Over the top now on the outside of the ring. Look out for Ishimori. Look out for Caleb Connolly, who takes down the man, the challenger. Just before he was about to possibly do a springboard move, and that brings Trevor Lee right over the top and kicks right through the uprights. Let's take a look at this again.
Watch this by Trevor Lee. Turns himself nearly inside out, kicking and caving in the chest of Ishimori.
Trevor Lee, meanwhile, talking to the referee, gives Caleb Connolly an opportunity on the outside of the ring to unleash further damage on the challenger.
That's what these guys do, right? Remember, Trevor Lee wanted to be X Division champion, so he stole the physical championship from Sanjay.
Cover by Trevor Lee. No, not enough. You know, let's not forget, it was Caleb Connolly who helped Trevor Lee win the X Division title in a Falls Count Anywhere match against Sanjay Dutt. And Trevor Lee, obviously a different style of grappling, as you see, more of a smash mouth style, just rubbing the elbow in the eye. And now the knee. Just relentless. Cover by Lee. Not enough. We invite you to follow along tonight. Use the hashtag #ImpactOnPop. Impact Wrestling on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Impact Wrestling. Use the hashtag #ImpactOnPop, and you have joined us on a huge night, kicking off 2018, 4 big title matches, plus Lambert versus the Cowboy, James Storm, Career versus Career. Here's a cover by Lee, and not enough.
Trevor did a good job there, hooking both legs, but Ishimori still has plenty of fight left.
While Trevor Lee is celebrating, in the back of his mind, he's got to know how much Ishimori wants to take this championship back to Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan. It would be absolutely huge for his career.
Well, there's so many incredible matches that you can think of if Ishimori takes the X Division Championship to Pro Wrestling Noah. Eddie Edwards is the current GHC heavyweight champion for Pro Wrestling Noah.
Through the legs, back to the outside of the ring. Such quickness by Ishimori, and now goes for that springboard. Takes down the X Division champion, Trevor Lee. And you know, Ishimori wanted to win this championship here tonight against Trevor Lee. Wow, great knees right across the chest, and now puts the champ down. Here comes Ishimori.
Watch the feet here. Oh!
Seen that before. Here's a cover. 1, 2. Oh, not enough. You have to know Desmond Xavier among the many watching this matchup tonight. A man who has been in contention for that X Division championship. And will likely face the winner of this match.
Ishimori's in control right now, looking for a gut wrench, and there's Caleb.
Don't underestimate the power of Trevor Lee. Strikes.
I'm not sure Caleb Connolly needed to pop up on the apron there. He may be setting something up for later, just baiting and grabbing the attention of the official.
Handspring. Oh, wow. Ooh. Did you see that?
I'm not sure who got the better or the worse of that exchange. If we can take another look here, you see Ishimori with the handspring, got caught by Trevor, who turned it inside out. This is just a collision.
Watch this carefully as Trevor Lee reverses the move midair. That's unbelievable.
And Trevor didn't get his arm out from underneath, but both men down now.
Trevor Lee, Ishimori battling it out. X Division Championship is on the line. We're keeping the cameras rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back in just moments more of this X Division title match when we return. We are back in the midst of an X Division Wrestling Noah in Japan. And through the matchup, back and forth action. These two very evenly matched.
Ishimori looking for that handspring kick again.
So quick, so fast, needs to capitalize, needs to get the cover. Ishimori now. Here it is. Not enough. Let's see that again. So impressive from Ishimori.
What I like about Taiji Ishimori is he goes back to this kick one more time. It didn't work before the break, it works now, and we may see a new X Division champion.
From the top, Ishimori. Trevor Lee had it scouted. Here's a roll-up, here's a cover! Nearly had a new X Division champion. The quickness, Ishimori. He believes he has Trevor Lee's number. Tonight, could it happen?
Carolina Caveman looking for that German suplex.
Great roll-up. Not enough, and the champ picks up Ishimori. Sit down, powerbomb, cover! Not enough. Let's take a look at that again. What great action.
This is beautiful, just an incredible combination. Full Nelson turns it inside out, goes for the backslide here. He's got Ishimori spinning like a top, knows he's not gonna get him. The sit-out powerbomb gets the feet over the shoulders, and Ishimori still kicked out. Wow, that was awesome.
Great X Division action. Trevor Lee, your champion. Ishimori, the challenger in the green and black. Now looking to finish off the Pro Wrestling Noah star, looking to compete. There's a knee right to the top of the head. Ooh. Kick to the midsection.
Wow!
Ishimori may have the champ's number. Here we go. Cover. 2. Not enough.
It doesn't get any closer than that.
Ishimori keeps the momentum going.
Watch the knees!
Right across the chest. He has always used that to set up his opponent for what we may see next. From the top rope, Ishimori. Bang! Beautifully executed 450, and we have a new X Division champion.
Here is your winner, and the new X Division champion, Taiji Ishimori.
They are celebrating in Japan tonight. Ishimori defeats Trevor Lee, and for the first time in his career, becomes the X Division champion, and for the first time, a Pro Wrestling Noah star wins an X Division championship.
Congratulations, Taiji Ishimori. What a way to kick off 2018 for this young man, now the new X Division champion, as we take a look at how it all unfolded. Watch Ishimori, in my opinion, nobody does the 450 better. Hooks one leg, tries to grapevine the other, can't get it, but still had enough to defeat Trevor Lee and become X Division champion.
What a way to kick off the show, and we have 3 more title matches coming.
All right, here we go. I've been waiting for this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next match is for the Impact World Tag Team Championship, scheduled for one fall. Introducing first the challengers. They represent New Japan Pro Wrestling, Juice Robinson and David Finlay.
I find myself tapping my foot, and I'm not sure if it's the song or if it's just nervous energy.
You know, I bet for FinJuice it's a little combination of both. You see, they've had success in Japan. They're former IWGP Tag Team champions, but now they want to step up to the plate and become Impact World Tag Team champions, and let's see if they have the ability to do it.
No, there are some great differences between wrestling in Japan and wrestling here in Impact. It's the size of the ring, the length of the match, some of the rules, even the turnbuckles are different. If FinJuice want to do it, they got to do it here. When in Rome.
When in Rome is right. Yeah, there are some subtle differences, but at the end of the day, it's about wrestling. It's about guys getting in there, locking up, feeling each other, trying to outmaneuver them. At the end of the day, like I said, it is all about wrestling.
The devil lay in the distance. He's in your sins.
Their opponents from Tokyo, Japan, the Big LG Doc Gallows Machine Gun Carl Anderson, the Impact World Tag Team Champions. They are the Good Brothers.
Well, if it's about the wrestling at the end of the day, like you say, then there are no two better tag team wrestlers in Impact Wrestling than those two right there.
These two are the best tag team wrestlers on the planet. They prove it every night, and they have the proof right there in their hands and around their waist, the Impact World Tag Team titles. Now here, they're saying, guys, I know what you've done over there. I know you've walked the same path as us, but you know what? You're not us. You're not as good as us, and tonight we're going to show you just how good we are.
The Good Brothers are going on about 120 days of holding those titles. And it's interesting because FinJuice were the IWGP Tag Team Champions. That's the top tag team title over New Japan Pro Wrestling. They only held the titles for 28 days. So while they've had a sip, a taste, I don't think they're drunk on the glory as much as the Good Brothers can.
They may not be drunk on the power yet, but they want to attain the power. But look at these two men right there. Doc Gallows, the big hurt, he's the heavy. And right next to him, the silky smooth Carl Anderson can wrestle hold for hold with anyone. New Japan born and bred, and it shows every time he gets in the ring.
It's interesting. You describe Carl Anderson as smooth and silky. It's a question I was going to ask later on, but hey, why not? Who's the best wrestler in this match? Because David Finlay's pedigree is amazing. Juice Robinson's history well documented. Who has that advantage?
Well, every one of these guys can flat out wrestle. You know, you talk about Juice Robinson, you talk about Finlay. Both have a long history, a long lineage. But to me, it's Carl Anderson. Like I said, born and bred in the dojo, and he brings that technique, he brings that discipline, he brings that will. That makes him the better wrestler for me.
Carl Anderson also has a partner who's the biggest guy in this match. In addition to all that, Carl Anderson also former IWGP Tag Champ 4 times actually, and held it for 564 days on his first run. The man has miles on him.
You know, that says a lot to hold it for 465 days on his first run. That's crazy. But right here, Carl Anderson's jockeying around David Finlay right there. And you see that little forearm, the little elbow across the face? That's kind of called a check move. That's just, hey, simmer down.
I like this matchup there. I'm going to keep an eye on it as the match progresses.
You know, right there, you see Carl Anderson saying, I might be famous, but I'm a nice fellow still. No, don't take that lightly. Carl Anderson will punch you in the face if he gets a chance.
Well, FinJuice being contracted wrestlers with New Japan Pro Wrestling, they definitely are going to be a little more headstrong than I believe more Western wrestlers are tending to be.
I think that's a product of when you're a young wrestler over there, you stand around the ring and you get the best seat in the house. So my question to the Good Brothers is, have they seen as much from FinJuice as FinJuice has seen watching them? That, to me, is an advantage for FinJuice.
That's a great point I didn't even think of. Of course, as we're coming up, and still to this day, you're encouraged to watch the matches in the main event. It's how you learn. But does the main event watch the matches before them? Some, hang on, cover here, true main eventers do. They set up a chair and they sit there the entire show and watch. But you think Gallows and Anderson were busy watching young FinJuice matches? I don't.
I don't either. I think when you're champions, when you're in the main event level, you have obligations and commitments. So they might be giving interviews or talking over business strategies. You never know. But I guarantee you, I don't believe they are watching FinJuice matches.
Nice drop kick there. Big up, quick tag made. And now FinJuice will get to do some double teaming here.
And I love their double team work. They move quick and well together. Look at this. Senton. Nice.
Gotta go for a cover here. Shoulders are down. It's not enough, and you saw LG sneaking in.
Yeah, I don't think LG was concerned there. He's just making sure everything was as it should be.
Smart there. The tag made on the exposed back, and here comes the big man, the difference maker in this match. Hands up high, and here we go.
And he's called a heavy hitter for a reason. Look at these punches. Laying some hurt on Juice Robinson.
The great thing about Gallows is how he keeps his frame moving.
Yeah, Gallows can move around the ring quite gracefully. But, ooh, nice boot by Juice Robinson. Good punch. Another one.
Look at Juice coming from the left side with those punches. That could pose a problem later on, unless this match is over right now. FinJuice's legs stuck straight up. Gallows with a smile. Cover, no! Juicy had his legs locked up in the air. He was out for a second.
Yeah, that's the sign of a flash knockout when your legs just thrown up in the air like that.
Oh.
God, and here we go. And quick in-out tags. This would make them the best team in the world. Right there, look at this. Look at this teamwork.
Saw the head and neck were compromised there, and Carl certainly did. Went from the cravat and then right into the rear chin lock, leaning forward now, putting all the pressure on the coming-of-age Juice Robinson. His partner David Finlay is back on the other side as they compete for the Impact World Tag Team titles.
Now, did you see what Carl did there? That grabbing of the nose. That's not meant to beat you. I say it all the time. That's meant to get in your head. That's meant to insult you. That's meant to say, hey, kid, you're not at my level. Simmer down, simmer down. One day this will be yours.
Lace scrape there.
Yeah, now Carl's taking his time.
Now, D'Lo, you and I have talked about this. These guys are entrepreneurs. They're advertisers. They're marketing men. But in order for their brand to be successful, they have to be great. They have to be champions.
Yeah, I don't care how good the brand is. Without the core product, the wrestling, the winning, you're just like anybody else.
Well, here we go. The core product may be double team maneuvers. Not enough right there. You see, Finlay has the speed here. When he gets tagged in, the pace quickens up.
Yeah, the pace quickens up, and Carl Anderson is trying to match toe for toe. I don't know if you look at nice power there. Strong back elbow.
I don't think that Carl Anderson can match the speed of Finlay, especially at this point in the match. And wow! I don't think anyone can match Carl Anderson's mind there. Finlay's head bounced off the turnbuckle.
Man, Carl just ripped his feet up the turnbuckle, and his head just rebounded off that top turnbuckle. Oh, the damage that could be happening right now.
So this is the difference now. I don't want to say, you know, the boys playing with the men kind of thing or whatever, but with an injury like that, a shot like that, and now the big LG just taking you against your will, having his way with you is the big man. I don't think you're going to go on to become tag champs.
Look at those elbows.
There it is. 2. Oh.
Yeah, look at the big LG dropping those heavy elbows on David.
That little thing Juice Robinson does there. Look at that. He leans down on the second rope so that his partner can see him. That's unique.
Well, that's a communication thing. That's so if you're down at a lower level, you can look up and there he is. And that's their way of communicating while one is in the ring. It is very smart. I've not seen it before, but I like it a lot. I think that's something other tag teams might want to adopt in their own.
No wasted movement. Had to wait for the right time to throw that heavy right hand. Again, it's measured.
Well, that's the experience of the big LG. He waited for it like that. Waited for the right time to throw that right hand to get the most out of it.
Locks in a rear chin lock. Do you see, can you sense what is happening here, what the brothers are doing?
I think the brothers are just trying to wear the kids down. I don't think they perceive them as a threat. I think they're trying to inflict damage like that big boot. My goodness, I think they're trying to inflict damage and send a message. This is not about winning. This is about sending a message. This is about knocking the kids down a peg or two because they seem a little uppity. They're trying to put them back in their place.
I think some mature coaches would point out that there was no cover there after the big boot, and there hasn't been one since. It shows me that there's a bit of ego here. I'm going to wear you down. I want you to feel this. I think they could have at least gone for a cover, maybe even have won the match, being the brothers.
It's not about ego. It's about putting them in their place. It is about letting these kids know you're not on our level. You're not there yet. And that's the message they're trying to send.
So then I don't understand that, though, because it's about being champion. And there's the thing, don't boast like one who has taken off his armor after battle when you've never even put yours on. Without the titles, the brothers can't be the brothers. They have to see clear of that.
I think they do see clear of that. The brothers know they're going to win this match. So to me, they don't fear FinJuice.
I think that's a mistake. I really do. I don't think you can discount FinJuice at all. If you look at their resume and you look at where they're going, this stock is on the rise. Tag made to Big LG, and he realizes that.
Look at that. Big LG sliding across the ring and stopping David Finlay from making that tag. That's smart tag team wrestling right there, bringing him back into his half of the ring, isolate him in the corner.
Listen, with FinJuice being here, that New Japan Pro Wrestling representation, if you don't think that the elders are watching and they see what I think is a crucial mistake that the brothers have made here, it's dishonorable at the very least, then you're crazy, because I think it's noticed.
It's not about dishonor. It's like a friend of mine once said, know your damn role and shut your mouth.
Okay. Cover here. Perhaps the roles have been known, not just yet. If the Good Brothers want their roles to be established, if they want everyone to know, watching all around the globe, no matter which locker room you represent, you want to come to Impact, you're going to have to at some point wrestle us. This is what you're going to get.
And I agree. Right now, the Good Brothers are sending a message to the world. If you want to come here to Impact, if you want a shot at the World Tag Team titles, you're going to get some of this, and you're not going to like it, and we're going to make you hurt.
Yeah, but are FinJuice the guys off the back of which the message comes? These guys are better than that. And I think you're making a mistake here with every single second you let this team stick around.
You can let them stick around, but I'll tell you this, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, they know they're the best team in the world.
Oh, this doesn't bode well, though. It doesn't bode well now. You know, as I see as they dump Juice Robinson off the apron now, it just seems like the team is pulling away. I mean, you look at the odds makers, what Vegas is saying, this is what happens in the fourth quarter. Now I see why the odds were the way they were.
Yeah, like you can tell. This is what it's like in a game of football when you got a team that you know is going to win a Super Bowl, and there's that young team, and it's close in the first quarter, but the fourth quarter, the leads start extending, and it starts extending, and then they put them away.
Yeah, perfect. I love it, extending the lead. Thank you, D'Lo Brabs. That's exactly what the brothers are doing here right now.
And now they're just wearing David Finlay out. Look at all that weight and pressure and that torque on David's neck.
Oh, the pressure comes from the legs there. You saw Finlay pushing off of his left leg to get back to a vertical base. Shots to the gut and a jawbreaker. Isn't enough space. Can Finlay get over to make the tag? Quick tag made to Carl Anderson.
And Carl, once again, cutting it off. Ring control.
Ooh,
Finlay.
Wait a minute. If Finlay knows where he is, we could have the opportunity here right now. Anderson is in no position to stop Finlay here.
Can he make a tag?
Tag made!
There it is! Here we go! Juice Robinson coming in like a house of fire.
This is what FinJuice needs now. They need an injection. They need a shot of adrenaline here. They need a shot of Fin and Juice on his way. Juice Robinson sends Carl Anderson down. Tag titles hang in the balance. Let's see what you've got, kid.
Is this the moment where momentum shifts? David Finlay, Juice Robinson are trying to do something great. Right, jab, jab, jab. Here comes the big haymaker. You know it's coming.
Left side, Anderson knew it, ducked twice, and bang, Euro caught the kid.
Big European uppercut right there by Carl Anderson, just stopping Juice Robinson in his tracks.
Oh!
Wow.
Cover here, 2. Oh!
No. For a second there, I thought Juice Robinson had Carl Anderson down. Wow.
Robinson has a game plan. The distance could be his best friend. Here we go.
Cannonball!
We talked about the difference in the sizes of the rings, and maybe Juice Robinson made one miscalculation, and this could be the end.
And look at this, the big LG walking in, and there's the universal sign for this is over. Pulling the straps down. The big LG is saying, I'm going to end this right now, kid, right now.
Oh! Ow, right behind the ear. Juice Robinson is down, leg is hooked, ref is in position, and...
Oh, no, I thought he got him. I mean, look, I don't know if LG thought he was going to kick out from that. Carl Anderson screams across the ring and knocks Finlay off the apron. And now, what are the brothers setting up to do?
Yep, it's the second time the brothers have run the play of coming across the ring and knocking their opponent off of the apron to take full advantage. Cover.
Ooh. And you can see David Finlay knew that was the end because he had to come in and make that save. And then he gets thrown to the floor for his troubles.
But still it remains the two Good Brothers in the ring. Finlay on the floor and Juice Robinson struggling to get to his feet. It's going to be a great career for FinJuice. They have such a long history, such a great prospect. But tonight is about sacrifice. With the unification title coming in our main event, I just didn't think the Good Brothers were going to be able to come in here and lose. And I'm about to be proven correct here. Magic Killer set up.
Oh, here comes Finlay, making the save again. Carl goes down, boot. Oh, gosh. Oh, that boot is wicked. Oh, what a left hand.
Gallows is down and out.
Spinebuster. That's it.
2.
Oh, goodness gracious. And Carl thought he had him. Carl thought that was the end of the match with the spine buster right there. You can see the frustration on Carl's face right now.
For everything this night means to wrestling fans around the world, to wrestlers around the world, to trainees, to just anyone that understands the concept of competition, you have to appreciate what these men and women are doing here tonight.
Yeah, you do. It's about laying it on the line, leaving it all there in the ring. And right now, both teams are doing that. But right here, you can see Carl setting up. Carl setting up for the kill.
Pull out the big guns. No. Catch. Backslide. Shoulders are down. The weight is there. It's not enough.
Oh, I thought it was it. Oh, another strong left hand.
It's worked twice. It's what has put Gallows onto the floor, and we haven't seen him since. Tag made. Here comes Finlay. We talked about the speed advantage that'll have. He also has the toughness. It's in his blood.
Look at this combination work right now. They're going for it.
Oh.
Elbow up the second. Go for the cover.
Heart Foundation recall there. No.
That was close. Man, that was so close to that elbow up the second rope. They're building momentum right now. FinJuice is building momentum.
We've talked about how FinJuice give the honor to the tag teams that have come before them, and all that's well and good, it's nice, but what about being the tag team that comes next, so that one day people will pay honor to you?
Oh look, Finlay with a dive. LG is back on the floor again.
Look what's going on in the ring, electric chair position here. Doomsday device, if they hit this, it's gonna be it! Cover! 2, history is made!
We have new Impact World Tag Team Champions!
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners and new Impact World Tag Team Champions, Juice Robinson and David Finlay.
Holy, I thought this team was out. I didn't think they had a bullet in their chamber, but was I wrong? FinJuice, David Finlay, and Juice Robinson are the new Impact World Tag Team Champions.
The not-so-invisible hand of Don Callis, and, well, he's made his intentions quite clear, Matt, in terms of where his loyalty lies in this historic matchup.
There is no question that Don Callis' loyalty lies with Don Callis and everything that he has thought of and brought to light for this moment and this night right here.
And we are about to bear witness to a transcendent talent capable of shifting accepted realities. The best bout machine, the god of professional wrestling, and walks into Rebellion as the AEW World Champion.
Well, I know Kenny Omega wants to add one more nickname to his collection. He wants to be called the Collector, the Belt Collector, because he's here for one reason and one reason only. He wants to try to become the Impact World Champion.
There is no Kenny Omega copy and paste formula. Man, his goal is nothing less than a complete reinvention of professional wrestling. He is the belt collector. He is also the AAA Mega Champion. That title not on the line tonight, but when it comes to professional wrestling, there truly is only one Kenny Omega.
You make a great point. Look, nationalism for Impact. Also, Don's trying to get your attention, sir.
Impact's no-limit soldier, Rich Swann, and just like Kenny Swann, the Unified Impact Wrestling Champion, has brought a couple of friends as well, D'Lo.
And Rich Swann has brought Willie Mack and AXS with him, but I'm gonna tell you this, if this is not a think, fight, feel, if this doesn't get your heart jumping, then you don't have a pulse. You ain't alive, because this right here is hot, Doc, and I can't wait. I can't wait.
Swann was able to overcome a mountain of misfortune to become the Unified Impact World Champion less than 24 hours ago. He watched as Andorra walked down the aisle on the biggest night of her life. Well, now Swann walking down that different aisle on the biggest night of his career. Andorra, this one is for you, and of course, dedicating this, the biggest match of his career, Matt, to his dearly departed mother, Rochelle.
It's been well documented that somewhere there is a strong woman looking down, and I have said that her son will live forever for being the first ever unified champion. Tonight, Rich Swann can etch his name in concrete for the duration of time.
You don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit in the wind, and you never count out Rich Swann. Yeah, he is the underdog tonight, but this underdog is ready to turn into a wolf.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Impact Wrestling Rebellion main event of the evening, World Title versus World Title contest. And it is scheduled for one fall. When the bell rings, we will have two referees calling the action. Representing Impact Wrestling, Brian Hebner, and representing All Elite Wrestling, Aubrey Edwards. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing in the corner to my right, he is led to the ring by the
Take a break, you pathetic stooge. Let Daddy take care of business. Ladies and gentlemen, on a night that is 27 years in the making, the dream of a 10-year-old Kenny Omega and Don by God Callis, it's all culminating tonight in this ring. Title versus title. Champion versus champion. You are here in the presence of greatness. Hackenschmidt, Gotch, Stecker, Ed Strangler Lewis, Lou Thez, Harley Race, Terry Funk, Dory Funk, Vern Gagne, Greg Gagne, Nick Bockwinkel are all insects compared to the greatest wrestler of the last 10,000 years. Weighing in at 224.5 pounds, from the wrestling capital of the world, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, your AEW World Champion, Kenny by God Omega!
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent in the corner to my left, accompanied to the ring by Eddie Edwards and Willie Mack from Baltimore, Maryland. He is the defending Impact World Champion, Rich Swann.
Sunday, April 25th, 2021. History being made at Impact Wrestling's Rebellion, a night that I never thought I would see, let alone be a part of. It's all up for grabs. The AEW World Championship and the Unified Impact Wrestling Championship. This level of badassery is visible from space, my friends.
I don't know, when those belts went up in the air, I got chills down my spine. Just to see that imagery was impressive.
The bell and history begins. In addition to their respective titles, pride and legacy are on the line, Matt. Nothing in this world, as far as a physical engagement, can outweigh pride, and Kenny Omega's ego continues to grow exponentially by the day.
Well, perhaps it's justified, because any way you look at it, Kenny Omega is the guy to beat in wrestling. With all due respect, it's not Ospreay, it's not Sawama, it's not Fatu or Roosh or even Bobby. It's Kenny Omega. And the only guy that has the chance to do that is Rich Swann.
Ooh.
Rich Swann immediately with the reversal, and Omega with a quick grab of the hair into the side headlock. And you know that Kenny Omega is going to try to slow down Rich Swann from the get-go, utilize that size and strength advantage as we are seeing early.
And look at the quickness of Kenny Omega and then the arrogance there, just stepping on the back of Rich Swann.
The Ayatollah of arrogance, Kenny Omega, but he usually backs it up, Matt. The god of professional wrestling, the belt collector, and a man who was walking into hostile territory tonight, and he didn't seem to be phased throughout the day. He says, this is another title defense for me. But for Rich Swann, it's the opportunity of a lifetime.
Agreed wholeheartedly. Kenny Omega is an elite athlete across all sports. Look, when you look at something like boxing, Floyd Mayweather had the uncanny ability to figure out opponents by the 4th, 5th round, and he put them away. Kenny says he's figured out Rich Swann.
And deja vu all over again there, D'Lo. Remember the press conference where Omega was fashionably late? He lit the fuse by slapping Swann across the face, saying he was already living rent-free in Swann's mind, and the gamesmanship continue in the early goings of this historic title versus title match.
And that was meant to get Rich Swann off his game plan, to get in his head, to get him all flustered, to get him angry, to get him off kilter.
Swann has had to overcome the loss of his parents by the time he was 16. He overcame career-threatening injuries, plural, last year to become the Unified Impact Wrestling Champion. It's going to take a lot more to get Swann off his game.
Yeah, it's a steely reserve. It's Rich Swann's metal and his passion.
Leapfrog by Omega. Beautiful athleticism on display by Swann. That's called a receipt, and the drop kick drives Omega outside of the ring. And Tony Khan, the AEW founder and president, applauding the efforts of Omega. Wow!
Rich Swann with a drop kick out to the floor.
Even our camera crew is feeling the effects of this.
Whoa! Swann with a version of a Phoenix Splash, twisting something or other off the second rope to the floor.
And if that Phoenix Splash would have taken place inside the squared circle, that would have perhaps led to the all-important 1, 2, 3, but he continues to work on Kenny Omega on the outside, but the only way the title can be won in the inside, Matt.
Inside the ring, you're 100% correct. And listen, a lot of people say that Kenny has won over Swann, but they feel that Swann may have had won over Kenny if not for Don Callis. And to your point, if Don or Kenny get hit with something like that, it's over.
And I think Swann was sending a loud message early saying, I can hit this Phoenix Splash from anywhere. And now it's Rich Swann unloading the strikes. And say what you will about the credentials of Kenny Omega, the speed and, dare I say, the plethora of strikes, the arsenal belongs to Rich Swann. Even though the V-trigger is one of the nastiest knee strikes you will ever see, I think Rich Swann has the edge when it comes to the more diverse striking attack.
It's the hero's journey that Rich Swann is on, and what he discovers about himself as a wrestler, how he becomes better. That question is answered here tonight.
You see right there, Swann is taking the early control of this, and you wonder if this caught Kenny off guard a little bit. Oh, and there answered my question. No, Kenny was just laying wait.
Mauro, I find it very interesting as we have our guests from All Elite here as well. We also have Scott D'Amore here. He is on site watching. His investment is here as well.
Yeah, I saw Scott hanging around the back, the lights over there. I saw him for a second, then he disappeared.
And Omega's done his homework as he had that leap from Swan Pond, well scouted, then delivers the belly to back drop driver, and now has Swann on the apron, dropping him back first across the proverbial hardest part of the ring, and there is Impact Wrestling executive Scott D'Amore watching with very vested interest as we all are here tonight. The future of AEW, the future of Impact Wrestling on the line in this mega main event.
This is amazing. So much is up for grabs right now. These two young men are going to show the entire world that two worlds are going to come together and have one world champion at the end.
The 37-year-old Omega, the Picasso of professional wrestling, the 30-year-old Swann has been, riding a wave like a jet ski. And
oh my God!
No.
Almost went for a nasty right, and Rich Swann unable.
Oh, he spiked right on his head. I thought that Swann was trying to do the handstand.
That's what I thought.
Pile driver.
I thought that handspring cutter that he's known for may have been attempted there, but he had his vertebrae were compressed. And remember, his career almost ended in January of 2020 in an 8-person tag team match.
Oh, boy.
Oh, buckle bomb by Omega.
And Omega's laying the offense on right now.
Owie! Shoulder by Omega. And Omega quickly goes for the cover. And somehow the heart of Rich Swann still on display, and Rich Swann barely escaping as Omega matchbook cover.
My gosh, to blow breath into dirt to make life.
Look at Rich's head. It spikes right there. It looked like Rich lost momentum going up before he could do the springboard to come back and just stalled right there and came right down on the top of his head.
And Kenny Omega, one of the most cerebral professional wrestlers on the planet. You know where he is focusing his attack now, Matt.
Yeah, you can't deny it. Listen, Kenny Omega is a lot of things to a lot of people. For all the things we want to say about him negatively, about his attitude, he's inspired a generation. There are 9, 10, 11-year-old kids out there that love him. I personally know a kid, Aaron Koch out in Maryland, wants to be Kenny Omega. There are kids growing up that want to be this guy.
You know, devil is in the details, and if you look at the best and the greatest of all time, all the GOATs are detailed people, and Kenny Omega is incredibly detail-oriented, D'Lo.
Well, he's really detailed, and he was willing to sacrifice everything. He's willing to sacrifice his personal life to become the best. He's willing to sacrifice family to become the best. He's willing to sacrifice a company to become the best.
Omega's a clear vision, unwavering confidence in himself. You know, I asked as part of my prep for this mega match, Matt and D'Lo, how do you beat Kenny Omega? Even Siri didn't know the answer.
Wow.
Fair enough, but you mentioned that Don said a vision without execution is a hallucination. Is Rich Swann hallucinating? Can Rich Swann beat Kenny Omega tonight?
Wow, pendulum backbreaker, and just like the bow and arrow now, really working on the lower back, and you can see he is pinpointing his attack, attacking the neck, then the lower back, and Tony Khan, Jerry Lynn of AEW, they are loving what they're seeing right now.
It's perfect symmetry, D'Lo.
Kenny Omega has been focused on the neck of Rich Swann since 5 or 6 minutes ago. When
Cover here by Omega, sorry, D'Lo, and Rich Swann able to lift that right shoulder just in the nick of time.
And there, Kenny Omega's continuing that offense on that neck and back of Rich Swann.
Oh! Wow. And Omega, the sky-high knees into the lumbar region of Rich Swann.
Tomorrow, D'Lo, when we think about the one-winged angel, we think about the impact, we think about Rich's neck, his lower back. Kenny is systematically dissecting Rich Swann.
And you can see Kenny Omega starting to feel it now. He's starting to feel in charge because you can see that confidence come out, that arrogance.
Another forearm right into the small of Rich Swann's back, and Omega admiring his handiwork, wanting to make an example of Rich Swann and add to his collection of championship belts as that knife-edge chop reverberates throughout the venue for Impact Wrestling's Rebellion.
Yeah, the back exposed by Rich Swann, and now he caught Kenny with the elbow.
Now Kenny with a nice forearm, Rich with a nice forearm there, and Kenny is rocked.
And Swann trying his best to put as much power behind those shots, still nursing that lower back, and the Katara crusher, well scouted by Swann, the counter, and the step over with the mule kick to the face by Omega. Frog splash cover, and Rich Swann 1 count away from becoming AEW World Champion.
Brian Heather's hand was almost down for the 3 count. This match was almost over.
See, Tony Khan, his money and his heart are conflicted.
What a knife-edge chop by Omega, and again, chopping down Rich Swann. Double axe handles now to the back.
Look at Rich.
He's getting a burst of adrenaline.
You can never discount Rich Swann, and he fires back with chops of his own, lighting up Kenny Omega.
He's got to figure out a way to neutralize Kenny's size and strength advantage.
A flurry of forearms by Omega sends Swan for the ride, and then Swan with the STO sends Omega to the canvas, but just momentarily. Reversal on the Irish whip. Omega comes off. Omega gets caught in that flying head scissors takeover by Swan.
This is how you neutralize Kenny's strength advantage. Rich Swann needs to elevate his game up and just use his speed.
A tremendous start to this mega main event, and this step-up enziguri by Swan. A Frankensteiner out of the corner, utilizing his hops. The springs in his legs, goes for the cover. And Omega kicks out at 1.
You look at Rich Swann, and you have to ask yourself, what does he need to do? Everyone is talking about Kenny Omega. Everyone is focused on Kenny Omega. Let's talk about Rich Swann.
What Rich Swann needs to do is focus on himself and focus on a way to put Kenny Omega down for 3 seconds.
Swann weathering the early Omega storm like a parka, and again, you talk about heart. We all know the story of Rich Swann will never be the biggest or the strongest, but he has the athleticism, he has the heart, the dogged determination, but he also has standing in front of him the best bout machine, Kenny Omega.
Where's Kenny Omega going? Oh, he's going up to the top.
It's been an uphill battle for Rich Swann his entire life. I don't think he'd have it any other way here tonight.
And he continues to climb in this match, corner mount. Oh, and shot to the trapezius, the deltoid of Swann, and the headbutt by Kenny Omega.
Those Shudo chops will really neutralize you.
Precarious position here for both Kenny Omega, Rich Swann. Swann all the way to the top turnbuckle.
Oh, no. Oh,
Rich's right hand, though. He's trying to hold on to the top rope.
It's the only thing
both champions willing to pull out all that stops, and Omega lands on the back of his head, on his neck. And Omega feeling the impact.
Just like that, the tide can turn. And now Rich Swann is taking full advantage.
And it's in perfect position for a Phoenix Splash. If Rich can hit this, Frog Splash!
Frog Splash finds the target! Swann gets a couture and a half
the leg.
He couldn't hook it. You see that? He kept reaching for the leg and couldn't get it.
And now it's Omega dealing with adversity against the graduate from the University of Adversity, and almost graduated to become AEW World Champion right there.
Oh, with honors, move the tassel from one side to another, but that's when the real challenge begins. When you graduate, you got to go into the real world.
And we talk about Swann striking. Discus chop. Pancrase style open palm strikes.
Oh, what a kick!
AEW contingent enjoying the action. Gut wrench into the Dr. Wily bomb by Omega. Will it be enough? No. Swann able to kick out.
Gosh, it was like a Corellan lift from Omega to put Rich into position here.
Omega, an avid gamer, a walking cheat code, his own joystick. Not much joy on the face of Impact Wrestling executive Scott D'Amore. The tension palpable here tonight.
You can cut it with a knife. I mean, right now, I look around and both execs are just, oh, the
Trigger! As nasty as Kenny wanna be with that.
Here it is,
here it is, the one-winged angel. Swann was able to escape in that six-man match and hard to kill. Oh, Omega just clocked him with that spinning heel kick.
And none of this offense is by accident. Everything is focusing on Rich's neck because that's exactly where the one-wing angel is capitalizing on. Yet where you need the injury at.
No one has ever kicked out of the one-winged angel. Omega letting it all sink in, and another V-trigger explosive knee smashing right into the face of Rich Swann. This could be it.
What a sickening thud that was.
Swann may be out on his feet here.
Okay.
Kenny Omega has Rich Swann right for the picking, setting him up now, putting him in.
From up there?
The electric chair. Oh, but Omega.
Rich Swann is up high. Oh, no.
Oh, no, not an avalanche. Electric.
No, he slipped.
Cover.
The cover by Swann. Omega able to escape, and Swann able to escape what could have been an avalanche one-winged angel.
Swan has showed us, D'Lo and Morrow, that the easiest route out of the one-winged angel is to slip down the back and catch the sunset flip. He's shown us that twice. But what happens when Kenny starts to counter that?
Well, Kenny is a gamesman. He's a chess master, and he's going to figure that counter move out, and he's not going to allow Rich Swann to slide down the back.
Omega holding the back of his head, back up to his feet. Both these men champions here tonight, but not for long.
Swan with the right hand. Oh! Discus chop by the Impact Wrestling champion, blocked by Omega. Oh! But able to nail that spot. Oh, the big trigger again from nowhere. Oh, dragon suplex by Kenny Omega. The Dragon Rush as Omega feeling the rush of success here in this title versus title match.
Omega taking Swan's back here. What does Kenny have in mind?
Full Nelson, not again. Another Dragon Rush, and how much more can Rich Swan's neck absorb, D'Lo?
I don't know. Did you see the impact of those two? It's just, those Snapdragons are just ridiculous. They're vicious. They're brutal.
He's looking for the hat trick.
Oh no.
The former goaltender has a unique vision, and definitely has a unique vision, but now it's Rich Swann with vision of his own.
Might have let one through the 5-hole there.
And Swann able to connect with the cutter, rattling Kenny Omega momentarily. Both of them on their feet, handspring, Swann looking for the cutter. Now the referee, Omega, moved the referee into harm's way.
Yes, he totally pulled him right into Rich Swann's cutter, and Brian Hebner is out.
Brian Hebner, the in-ring referee's out. Oh, wow, that lariat just turned Swann inside out. The other official, Aubrey Edwards from AEW.
Yeah, and I think this was Scott D'Amore's concern here now, because now the Impact title sits in the hands of an all-elite wrestling official.
And Kenny Omega's coming in with that chair, and Aubrey Edwards is paying attention to Brian Hebner.
No, you don't, not a match of this magnitude. Kenny Omega, you're better than this. Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion, has a chair. This is the best bout machine.
This is Don Callis' influence.
Look, Aubrey Edwards,
good for you.
Calling it right down the middle. You're not going to win this with a chair.
Aubrey Edwards letting both Callis and Omega know, as you mentioned, D'Lo, that she's going to call this right down the middle.
Look at Swann, look at Swann.
There's the cutter. Rich Swann just nailed Omega with the biggest handspring cutter of his career. Rich Swann, Mahistral cradle rolls up Omega. We are going to, no, Omega with the counter. Omega, shoulders down, 2.5. What a match. Omega fired up in the corner. He has Swann in his sights for another V-trigger.
Missed. Swann gets out of the way. Kick.
Swan Song has Omega reeling. Spinning Richinoku driver.
Can he get the cover?
Richinoku driver by Rich Swann. Shoulders are down, and Omega somehow able to kick out.
Not enough leverage on the shoulders. Omega's able to kick out of that pretty easily.
It wasn't a fantastic voyage for Kenny Omega, that's for sure, but he escapes. He maintains his hold on the AEW gold for now.
Kenny is exposed here, defenseless.
Oh, straight kick right to the face of Kenny Omega. And look, Richard, this is set up for the Phoenix Splash right here.
Here we go.
This is set up for the Phoenix Splash.
Rich Swann,
come on, Rick,
looking to ascend to the top of the biggest mountain ever. They say that K2 is the toughest mountain to climb. Rich Swann looking for that Phoenix Splash, lands on his feet. Omega V-trigger, V-trigger. Omega just detonated another V-trigger on Swann's face, has him up in the electric chair.
If he hooks that head, can he hook that head?
Oh, Croix Wrath! Croix Wrath! Electric chair into the German with a bridge for a 2 count. Kenny Omega can beat you in so many ways, Matt.
It makes him entirely dangerous if Rich Swann's been so focused on the one-winged angel.
Jay Driller by Omega. This has to be it. A new Impact Wrestling.
Oh, Swann said no. Swann said no. Swann said no, not tonight.
Unbelievable heart champion, Rich Swann. He just kicked out of the Jay Driller.
Look at this, the Jay Driller right here, and Rich's head goes straight into the canvas, but Rich kicks out at 2, showing he has still got life.
And it's not lost on Kenny Omega that that's the move that fellow Canadian Josh Alexander used to open this night to become the brand new X Division title. Do we end the night the same way? Not so fast.
Kenny Omega, the first Canadian to win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship in New Japan Pro Wrestling. His 2017 trilogy with Kazuchika Okada shattered the Dave Meltzer scale as Omega looking to shatter the jaw of Rich Swann with that close encounter of the V-trigger kind.
Guys, did you notice a subtle thing? Kenny Omega pulled the knee pad down right into 2 V-triggers. That's an exposed knee that Kenny Omega's using.
Mauro, in all of combat sports, all of your moments, where does this stand?
This is incredible. Kenny Omega about to deliver the coup de grace, and is Swann going to be able to continue? Yes, this is the biggest match of his life. Yes, this is historic, title versus title, but you have to wonder about the welfare of Rich Swann. His friends have to wonder.
Look at Kenny Omega taunting the Impact roster here, taunting Eddie Edwards and Willie Mack.
But D'Lo, is this like allowing a team to stick around?
Oh no, Omega gets shut up one more time!
End this thing.
Rich looks out.
Oh no, come on, there's saliva coming out of his mouth. Referee has to really look on here with some serious concern. Rich Swann has taken an unbelievable amount of punishment to the head, courtesy of the V-trigger.
Don't count him out yet.
But Swann pulling the trigger now on the rights and the lefts, trying to battle back. Going downstairs to the body.
Yeah, great fighting there, but I don't think Swann's got much on these punches right now.
Counter by Swann! Suplex counter by Rich Swann that will buy him precious seconds of time to recharge.
Rich.
Looks like Rich is setting up again. He's going to the corner again.
He's got to take advantage of what's given to him now. He's got to be that counter puncher. The position is there, Rich. Do it.
2 champions, 2 rival promotions on 2 different television networks going mano a mano here. And Rebellion and Swann misses with the Phoenix Splash. No H2O in the pool. And Omega has it set up again with another V-trigger.
Oh no, this is getting sick.
Oh no. Omega has Swann in the electric chair.
Look the head, it's in.
Oh, one-winged angel. One-winged angel.
No. Oh no.
Here is your winner and new Impact World Champion, Kenny Omega.
You can't spell Omega without O-M-G. And Matt, oh my God, what did we just see?
Scott D'Amore's face tells you everything. What we just saw is history, and what we're seeing is the Impact Unified title walking out the door.
I literally had a loss for words right now. I can't believe what I just saw. Let me gain my composure back, my professionalism. Let's congratulate Kenny Omega. Let's not bury the lead there. We have a new Impact World Champion in Kenny Omega, and it was a sickening way this match ended.
What a hard-hitting affair. Yes. It was uncomfortable to watch in the final minutes with all the plethora of V-triggers scrambling the brains of Rich Swann.
I mean, you have to think about Rich Swann, the man. Yes, the athlete, but take nothing away from the pictures on your screen. Mauro, D'Lo, I'm going to say it, Kenny Omega is pound for pound the very best wrestler in the world.
And look here, we can see these V-triggers here to the exposed face of Rich Swann, and then up into the one-wing angel, and once Omega gets that head hook, there's nothing left but a 1, 2, 3.
And to paraphrase bar spitter Freddie Gibbs, Omega is stacking belts like Pringles. The Lord of the Ring now lords over AEW, Impact Wrestling, and AAA. A triple champion, Kenny Omega, the Alpha Titan of professional wrestling. Have we ushered in a brave new world in professional wrestling? Or have we just opened up Pandora's box?